Zipper Dynamax. And Zipper Dynamax today have their own local in CUPW here in Winnipeg. From 2000 to 2002, he was a national organizer. He worked for the National Union, helping to organize unorganized workers. And that is a tough job. And then he was elected in 2002 to the regional office, where he was the regional education and organizing officer. And that's the position that the last union position Brother Friesen had before he retired.
No, went back to being a shop steward.
Right, he was a shop steward. John spent some time on the Manitoba Federation of Labour Executive Committee, and that takes up a lot of your time, and that's not an easy job either. He was a member of the Winnipeg Labour Council. He was one of the founders of the Work Centre, and for those of you that don't know, the Work Centre is at 280 Smith Street. It was set up by the National Union, and it's a community office. And people that need assistance in the community, poverty groups, and small organizations that need office space or telephones or photocopying, they can access the Work Center. And the last number I heard, there were 100 and some community groups working out of that office. So without that office, John also spent some time as a member of the Labour Choir, and you'll still see the Labour Choir around the city. And you know, whenever we get together and we see 5 or 6 Labour Choir members together, you know, we always make them come up and sing. And John's always the first one up here, so.
Not anymore.
Not anymore. You're retired. So, anyways, brother, I just want to thank you for all your hard work on behalf of the union and the members, and wish you happy retirement and congratulations. And Denis, I think, wants to say a couple words.
I would just, so good evening, brothers and sisters. So I will let him think a little bit, because I'm sure he's thinking about something to say. So I just want to say hello to everybody. I think it's really great to be here tonight all together. And there's a lot of history in this room. So we're talking about strike in 68, 72, 74. So I think that's remind a lot of souvenir to all of you, and it shows that in some ways when the postal worker are really a big family, because when you come here, I feel like I'm at home. And I'm sure it's the same thing for Jean-Claude Parot. You met him. He's here too. He was president for 15 years of CUPW, so you remember him on the picket line and all the history. And I went around to meet with some people, and it shows that we have to be proud to be part of this great union, CUPW. That's something important, and we have to celebrate that, and that's what we're doing tonight. So thank you for being here and share your solidarity between all, between us and ourselves. So thank you for that. Have to recognize the fact that when he wanted to say something, to show something, he was out there. So he was education officer at maybe, and I was the education second national vice president responsible for education. So we worked together on education. But I think just 3 points. I think that the labor movement will remind John the fact that he was one of the first ones to do organization. And that was something tough for CUPW, because we had one employer, one union. And at some time people realized that there are more than people working at Canada Post in the postal sector. There was private. And I think it was one to really push that idea that we have to organize. And the fact that the Prairie region was really pushing this idea in the union, I think John played a really important role to push the union to organize. And now we are the union understanding that we have to organize in the postal sector. So that's something that I think is part of this life. Another thing, it's important that when we start organizing them and the private sector, and it's what happened in maybe the 2 or 3 last year, because we had to educate and we have to train these people as you are our president, and I think he was the first one to starting to say we have to adapt our courses to the reality of the private sector. And he was one of the ones who create this kind of course and do it, and went around with private sector, and it shows the way to the union around that issue. So I think it's important that we recognize the work he did in that issue. That's something important. And lastly, I think, and I'm not sure saying that, but the Worker Center, I think the Worker Center in Winnipeg is something important for the labor movement. And I think with other people in this room, I think he was one who put forward the fact that we have different ways to organize worker, and the Worker Center is one of them. So I think your brother seems to be happy as a retiree. He has come back. He just came back from South America. He's planned to go into India, but I think in his heart he will always be a postal worker, and everywhere we go in the world, I'm sure he will go and talk with the postal workers. So thank you, John, for all the work you did.
Speech! Speech!
I do have something to say. First of all, I want to really thank the union and thank everybody in the room and thank all the members I've worked with through the years in the workplace and in the union. There's no greater privilege to me than to have served the members at Canada Post and serve the members through a shop steward and all the offices in CUPW. I can't think of anything I'd rather do in my life. And to be acknowledged with a lifetime membership in CUPW means a great deal to me. It means a lot. It means everything. And I feel really privileged to work with all the people in this room. Well, I'll just leave it there. I really feel privileged in my life to have been able to do this and to be able to know all of you and to be able to work with all of you. That's been a great feeling. And just now as a retiree, I guess, you know, I have a bit of a concern because, you know, in the last few years we've seen attacks on pensions, on benefits for pensioners, and I think maybe it's time that pensioners, especially people in this union, started to think about an organization or think about maybe a retirees committee within the Winnipeg local to start protecting our interests as retirees. Because I think in the next little while that's going to be under attack. And I think that we have to maybe get together, maybe some of the pensioners in the room, maybe the local can get something together, and maybe we can start meeting and discussing ways that we can protect ourselves. And also, there's a huge fight at Canada Post going on with the Modern Post. And I think that as retirees, as people who built this union, all of us feel a part of this, no matter whether we're there or not. That we shouldn't just, you know, kind of stand to the side and just, you know, go our ways. I think it's now time to support the people who are still in the workplace in whatever way we can, to make sure that those benefits that have been achieved through the years continue to be achieved. And the Canada Post not just, you know, get away of, you know, ridding themselves of people and putting in machinery. That we have to be there to help people in whatever capacity we can help them. You know, through especially 2011 and especially through this Modern Post. So I'm hoping that the local can maybe set up something or call a meeting of retirees together sometime, and we can start getting together and talking about what we can do for ourselves and to the people within still at Canada Post.
I hear you chair that committee.
I don't know about that. Get started. But yeah, so again, thanks a lot. Thanks for everything, and it's been a great time. Thanks.